Good morning, everybody. I'm Jason, and
I'm Beth.
And we are Happy Tales RVing, as you well know. Today we're going to talk about a little bit on the Lippert leveling system. This is a common problem that Lippert has, and this is more on the hydraulic rams. If you hear them popping when you're maybe 2 days after you've set up, I'm going to show you how to fix it. It's actually a very easy fix. I'm going to kind of walk you through it. Basically, it's the oil that they put into them, and you'll notice that as it's cooler, you get more popping. So at night, first thing in the morning, and by popping, I mean we'll try and reproduce it. It's warm here today. We're in South Dakota, and it's pretty toasty. So I'm not sure if we can get it to reproduce, but we will definitely get it. The sound later on, probably tonight or first thing in the morning tomorrow. And when I say first thing, I'm talking like 6 o'clock in the morning. When you go side to side, you'll hear it, and you can try to shake the rig. But we will kind of get that, and so you can actually hear the sound. Anyway, going back, what you need to do, and we picked these up, and I'll show you where we got it at, is this stuff right here. You get that at your cat store. It's not that expensive. I think it was like 36 bucks before tax. We walked out the door $41.05. Again, I will put that in here right now. So as you see, we pulled up to the cat dealer, and this is the stuff that you want. It is a low friction hydraulic oil additive, and we'll show you how we're going to do that. But first of all, get these from the cat dealer here in South Dakota. $41.05. A little spendy, but trust me, you will enjoy it. It'll get rid of that clicking, clacking after a couple days of sitting with your jacks extended. That'll get rid of that noise for you. And now we're going to show you how we do it. And also, you'll need some type of transfer pump. Some people do it with a turkey baster. I don't recommend that. You can go to Walmart or any auto parts house. They'll have that. We'll show you where we found it here at Walmart. Also, one other thing you'll want to get, and a little disclaimer, you're going to take 1 quart of fluid out, and you're going to put the additive in, but this says 1 quart, and you'll see prior here that we put this in we got this at Walmart. You can get this at Home Depot, Lowe's, anything.
In the paint section.
You might, yes, very good, thank you. The paint section. But you might want to get a little larger than 1 quart, because as you see, right here, probably the top of the collar is going to be about 28 ounces. There's 32 ounces in 1 quart, so which means it's probably going to be all the way to the top. Obviously messy. You're dealing with typically it's transmission fluid in these levelers, but regardless, it's going to get messy, and you'll see that here shortly. I would recommend getting a half gallon one of these instead of 1 quart, and it'll make more sense here in a minute when you see how I actually extract it and why we need this guy. So without further ado, let's head outside. I'll show you where our reservoir is and how to remedy this, and I'll kind of explain a couple other things for you. Alright, so we ran down to our local Walmart here. We just picked up one of these guys. It's 10 bucks. If they don't have it, you can grab, where is it? One of these guys. 5 bucks. The reason I grabbed this one is because it's got a thicker viscosity of oil, and we'll just pump that guy up and we'll send it home. And because we have 1 quart, we're just going to grab one of those guys real quick. 2 bucks. And the reason I like this guy is because it has markings on the back of it, so we know exactly what we pulled out. So that's why I'm going to use this guy along with this guy to get our oil pumped out, and then we'll swap it out. Okay, so we are under the coach right now. Beth is going to do her side shift shuffle and see if we can't get the popping noise. Again, it's going to be pretty faint this morning. We'll work on it again, But go ahead, Beth, try and do your... Hopefully you guys can hear that little bit of a popping. If not, we'll re-record it a little later on. But anyway, what that is movement in your hydraulics. The fluid is compressing. So that's why we add this additive, and we'll show you here on how to do that. Okay, so we are outside here. We might have a little bit of wind noise going on. If that's the case, we'll dub over this. This is our reservoir. This is our hydraulic reservoir. Now, I want to put a disclaimer on here. The best time to do this is when all your slides are compressed into the body and all your feet are up. Because what that'll do is that'll show you your exact level of your reservoir with everything in, because now everything's extended, the fluid is into the rams or the cylinders. So when that's all retracted, this will go up. Now, the reason that's important is you don't want to overfill this guy. You overfill this guy, it makes a mess, okay? There's nothing sealing this. This is just a vent cap. It'll pop right off. That being said, I have a unique situation, we'll call it. With our old camper, the access panel here, I could be hooked up and I could open this panel up and get access to this. Now this panel is about twice as tall as that, therefore I cannot be hooked up, therefore I can't have the leverage. I could block the corners of this with jacks and chibbing and raise it up and then do that. What I'm going to do is, with this little transfer pump that we bought, I'm going to pull out 1 quart. The reason I'm pulling out 1 quart is because I'm going to add 1 quart. So basically, like I said, we got this guy at Walmart. It's pretty cool. These guys just go in. You gotta make sure you press them in, but then they don't come out. The only way you get it out is you press this little collar, and then it comes right out. So it is very easy to do. There are a bunch of different adapters. We're not going to use any of those today. We're just going to use our hose. And we don't want to use a bunch of hose either. So what we might do is, well, for purposes of video, we'll just use the hose. The wind is causing havoc on me. So, and these guys are usually labeled. Of course, this one is not. I believe that the bottom is your suction. No, we're going to do our top as our suction. So, yep. So, and that's why I said we wanted to make sure that we had a good cup. This gets a little interesting sometimes. So you want to make sure that you have a good sturdy hose. I'm actually going to set it up here so that it doesn't get knocked over and I have control over, well, if I can get it in the oil, that is. And you might have to straighten out your hose as well. Yeah. So, as you see, and that's why we film these things as they happen. This is not going to cooperate with us. So what I'm going to do is, because it's kinked here, it's always going to be an issue. So we are going to go and, of course now it's got oil on it. So, memory is always a fun thing. You can do this a couple different ways. If you have a metal coat hanger, you can slide it down in the middle of this guy, and it'll kind of keep it. You can heat it with a heat gun or a hair dryer to get it to straighten out. A lot of times, just friction and bending it the opposite way will straighten it out. You want to be careful not to put kinks in it. Whew, this stuff is stinky too. All right, so we're gonna kind of hold this guy. As you see, we now have it coming in. And you want to use a bigger orifice tubing as well. It'll just make your process a lot smoother. Okay, so as you can see, we are pretty darn full. And we are a little bit above the 24 ounce. Again, we have 32 ounces in here. I'll turn this so you can see the measurement. I'm not too worried about that because, like I said, we have a bunch in this tubing. And I am also going to replace what I take out with our additive here. So there we go. And basically, I'm going to take this other end of this hose out and try not to make a huge mess. All right. And I'm just going to push it back in. And we're not going to get it all, but we're going to get a vast majority of it. Like so. Now this is a very oily, dirty job. And you'll want to have another container, which I don't. So we're going to pause this right now. I'm going to go put this up. And we'll come right back and we'll continue this step. Okay, so once again, we've pulled out that quart of fluid. Now we're going to go back in and we're going to stick it in and out. Here's what I did with my pump. I just set it in this little bucket that we had. Just a step I forgot. Because you want to keep a clean area. You don't want to have oil spilled all over your campground. It's just bad for you. It's bad for the industry as it is. So you want to keep everything nice and clean and tidy. So with that being said, now we're going to go and we're going to put our quart of oil in the reservoir. And we're just going to pump them in like so. Now the reason that I did this now with everything open is because we're here for probably another week. And once we close everything up and circulate the pump, now this will go through everything instead of just being in here. So it gives it a kind of an extra rotation. So we put the whole quart in there. Now I'm going to keep this because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that, I'm going to pump it out, and I'm going to put it back in here. Because I know that I'm a little bit low, and then once we have everything pulled out and all of our slides and our levelers up and I'm hooked to the truck, again, I said I can't get in here, but I can at least get in here enough to about here, and I'm able to see where the level is. So on the reservoir, they have a sticker up here, and it tells you where the fill level is. Normally, there's a molded point here, and it's right to that. I think we're about probably a pint low. Maybe not even that much. But again, once we get this all retracted, then I'll know for sure. So what I'm going to do is we're going to pump that into here, and then we'll be done. So bear with me, and we'll probably fast forward through this. Just like before, you want to have your fluid as close to your pump so that you have control over everything. Can't quite get it all. Just not enough fingers. I'd have Beth help me, but she's filming. Okay, so we got a good chunk of it in there. Now, the best way to get this stuff out, unfortunately, is to pull your lines out. I think we'll do the top one first, and let gravity do its trick. So we're going to pull this guy out. Like I said, we push this in. We set this guy down in here. Now, again, you are going to have a little bit of a mess, so oops, plan accordingly, as I about pulled that out of the quart. I do have this on my work mat so that it's not on the bare ground. Again, just for video purposes, we're just going to kind of do it quickly. We'll pick up the rest of this stuff a little later on. All right. So, like I said before, that transfer pump is 10 bucks. You can keep it, you can throw it away. It's up to you. They also have the cheaper ones that are like a ball syringe, like a turkey baster. Again, you can use anything and everything as long as you got an easy way to get that fluid out, and be able to transfer it from one container to another, whether it be your reservoir to a quart jug. But now, I am keeping this. As you can see, it is full. We're right to there. So we took out what we wanted. We're going to keep this handy so that when we retract everything, it is up to the level it needs to be for operation. All right, so we went and we replaced everything, we drained everything out, and that's as easy as it is. It's not hard at all. It's easy to do on your own. It takes probably about, well, however long this video is, probably 10-15 minutes tops. Again, once we hook to the truck, we will cycle the slides in twice, and I'll raise and lower the levelers once or twice just to get that all stirred up nice and good. And then going down the road, obviously we'll mix it up a little better, but you're always going to have that residual, so it's going to take probably a good 2 or 3, maybe even up to 6 times before you start hearing that pop and go away. But I guarantee you, it will go away. Easy fix. And if you have any questions, let us know. Hit them down in that comment section. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a thumbs up. Thanks, guys. We appreciate it, and we'll see you next week. Enjoy it.